Hey, it's Stacy from Chicken Hughes, and here it's time to start incubating and hatching chicks. There's a little bit of a trick to storing your hatching eggs so that you can have the best hatch that you possibly can. I want to share a few tips with you today. Here are some eggs I collected today that I'm going to use for hatching. And what I want to do is go through and check for things. These have just a little bit of shavings stuck to them, which easily I can brush off. This is no big deal at all. Actually, today was a really clean day, it looks like, for eggs. So mine look really good, which is exciting. Sometimes they don't. These are perfect for hatching. The cleaner the better. Spotless eggs are perfect that are freshly collected. But I'll tell you, you read that you should never put anything soiled in your incubator, and really you probably shouldn't. But I will sometimes. I'm not going to put something that has globs of poop or anything like that. I don't want to. You just risk a lot of contamination. You risk contamination with that egg, although I know some people that do. I know some hens that do, as a matter of fact. But this one has some kind of little mark. I have no qualms about that one. This one also has some, it's mud, I believe, all over it, but not terribly. And I would honestly go ahead and set that one too. That's up to your own preferences as to how you want to do that. Clean eggs start with clean nest boxes. So try to keep your chickens from roosting in them at night or sitting in them at night where they might make them dirty. And always just check them and make sure there's not poop or stuff in them, mud in them. And just put fresh layers of shavings in there every few days, or fluff it up so your nest boxes stay clean. But I'm not going to set these eggs today. I'm going to set these eggs probably by the end of the week anyway. I've been collecting some other ones. So I like to store them in a egg carton. I like to use the cardboard ones or the paper ones. I don't know why it would make any difference. It probably doesn't, but that's just what I do. It's important how you put your eggs in. You need to have the pointy side down. Let me find one that's really obvious that we can use here. Here is an egg. Has a few marks. I have no problem setting that. But can you see how it's got a rounded top and it has a pointy end? It's important that you put that egg in the carton with the pointy end down. That's how you want to store them. So go through and check your eggs and get those pointy ends down on all of them. If you do it upside down, there's a chance that, and some of them, I'll tell you, some of them are hard to tell. And I've had some actually set in the incubator that I candled and discovered I had them upside down. So I had to fix it. But what can happen is the egg cell the air cell can detach in the egg. You just have some problems with that. So be careful. Make sure you get them in there, pointy side down. And once I do that and I go through and I get my eggs ready to go, you need to store your eggs. You need a place to store your eggs. So I like to use my garage. It stays around 50 in here, depending on what time of year it is. As it warms up in spring, it could be, a little more than that. So 50 to 65 is a good place. You want, not super wet. Certainly you don't want it really humid, but just a normal environment. The eggs are going to be dry out here. If it gets colder, I'll keep them in the house, but I have a reason that I really like it out in the garage, and I'll show you. My workbench has this little ledge on it, and it allows me to hold my eggs at an angle. See that? And when you're storing your hatching eggs, you want them stored at an angle like that. A hen in her nest has them on her side, and you might want to turn them, well, she turns them several times while incubating, but even while you're waiting to incubate them, it's good to turn them. And I do it maybe twice a day, at least once a day. Did you see how I did that? I just took one end and I flip it over. It's not as good as a round, probably round and round, but it at least keeps them shifted enough so that the embryo does not stick to the membrane, is what I hear and how I understand that. So I can line all my egg cartons up here in order, and I can switch them around with no problem whatsoever, and it's very secure so they won't fall, which is the other thing. You especially don't want to pay a lot of money for hatching eggs and have them fall off of something when they're propped up. There are some special considerations if you've had eggs shipped to you, but it's basically the same. You want to unwrap them and get them into an egg carton with the pointy ends down. Again, same thing, but you want to kind of let them just sit and come up to room temperature, maybe 12 hours, 24 hours at the most, before you put them into the incubator. If it's chilly outside and they're cold and you're throwing them in the incubator, that may not do well for them. Plus the settling of the egg, just kind of give it a chance to chill out, because shipping can be hard on eggs. So that's the difference with that. But otherwise, as far as storing them, the sooner that you incubate, the better. You can leave them. I mean, I've put eggs in that are probably, I think the oldest is 3 weeks old, and I still had some hatch. It wasn't the best, but I've heard up to 3 weeks. So normally I get mine in between 1 or 2 weeks, and they do pretty well, depending on how the eggs did in the first place. So when you store your hatching eggs and take every precaution you can, you will hopefully have a great hatch. And I hope you hatch some really cute chicks out of it, have a great hatch, and learn from now on how to properly store your hatching eggs. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos.